Welcome back to the house project. And today we've got some fun stuff. Okay, there's been a lot of things on this project, remodeling the old part of the house, building the new additions, all of that stuff. A lot of details on this I just haven't completely thought through. A lot of it, the main stuff, I knew how I wanted it to look and how I hoped it would look anyway and turn out. Well, a lot of the things I just wasn't sure about. And I figured, okay, I'll just figure this out as we go. All right, well, now we're getting into one of the areas that I've got to figure it out now because we're here. And that's primarily the entrance from the living room to the kitchen. This is the doorway, opening, entryway, whatever you want to call it, from the living room to the kitchen, right here. Okay, I know the opening is going to be here. But exactly what do I want it to look like? How wide do I want it to be? Spacing. Okay, and then to make things even more challenging, we've got the old vent chimney here. All right, so this wasn't a fireplace. This was for the wood stoves. They had a wood stove in the living room for heating, and then a wood stove in the kitchen for cooking. All right, so we're in the old original section of the house here. Okay, this wasn't decorative. And what they did, this was very common back in the day, okay, they've just got an opening right here for the stovepipe to run into, and then chimney smoke and all that goes up top. Okay, so it's not a fireplace. All right, well, this just kind of sticks out. All right, well, what do I want this to look like? And I scratched my head long and hard on this. Okay, I could do some kind of faux stone, faux brick, something through here, kind of make it, maybe put in a gas insert and kind of look like a fireplace or something, and all of that would look good. But it just doesn't fit with this house. Okay, the design principles for this house and what I'm shooting for here, which this was an arts and crafts style house. Okay, now this was a working man's arts and crafts style house. This was done on a budget. These were just poor, everyday, working class people that owned this house, this old Hughes house. Okay, but everything in this house, even though it was on a budget and cheaper materials, it was still in that style. Okay, well, the whole principle behind the arts and crafts movement, that whole design philosophy, so craftsman houses, bungalows, prairie style in the Midwest, and even going back even further, American Gothic, all of that, the point of it's honesty. Okay, so not decorative. So real materials, stained wood instead of painted, so that you could show the quality of the wood, whatever it is, honesty. All right, so not trying to hide things, not trying to use laminates to make things look like they're more expensive than they are, all of that type stuff. Okay, what a faux stone fireplace, as good as that would look, that just goes completely against the whole design philosophy for arts and crafts. Arts and crafts, to maintain that design philosophy, the whole thought behind all of it, I would need to put field stone in here, real stone, and I would need it to be a real fireplace and really functioning. Okay, so yeah, what do I do with this? How do I make this look decent? Okay, well, I think I finally got a solution to this. So my plan for dealing with this and tying all of this together. Okay, we've got the back wall of the kitchen right here. Okay, so the doorway is going to be right here. I'm going to extend this little wall out here 18 inches. Okay, and the reason for that, I want a china cabinet on the back wall. Well, the china cabinet's roughly 17. We're going to bring this out 18 inches. So the china cabinet sits right behind this little wall right here. Then 6 foot of door opening. And then on this side, beside the chimney, where the doorway ends, I'm going to extend that 18 inches. That way we've got symmetry on each side. And then originally, with how this was done, there was sheetrock around the chimney. Okay, so it's already framed out around it. I'm gonna extend this wall out enough so that we end up with that 18 inches from where it ends to the opening of the doorway. And that gives us our symmetry of the doorway. Okay, now if none of that made any sense, don't worry. I'm about to start framing and you're gonna get to see it all come together right now. And this is our doorway from the living room to the kitchen. And I think it looks pretty good. Okay, we've got solid header over the top, and then we've got 3 jack studs holding it up on each side, 2 king studs on each side. We've got 6-inch structural steel lag bolts through the top, 3 of those into the header, so it's solid. And I'm really happy with how this looks. I wasn't sure, but the more I thought about it, okay, all of this started falling into place for me, and this is what I was trying to explain earlier. There's going to be a little wall that runs in right here that wraps around the chimney. Okay, and this section here, it's the same distance from this section to this wall. 18 inches on each side, so that keeps it very symmetrical on each side, and it's going to look good. Okay, where the camera's positioned right now is in the front doorway. All right, so anytime someone walks in here, and this isn't for other people, this is for me. I want to open my front door and enjoy what I see. Okay, and this is something I figured out a long time ago. What we're trying to do is we're trying to frame an image from different positions, vantage points, and so forth. Okay, well, that's what we're doing with trim. When we put trim around the doorway, we're literally creating a frame, like a picture frame. Think of a painting. Okay, so we look at a painting, and there's a tree over here, house, mountain, whatever. You get the idea. But it's all positioned within that frame so that it looks very nice, or at least for a good painting. All right, well, that's what we're doing with our doorways. When we walk through a doorway, what we see there, okay, that's important. It's already framed out if we did it right. Okay, so we want what's on the other side to look good. Now, I mean, this is all open and under construction and, junk and everything else. Once that side of there, though, when I walk through the front door or anyone else, this is perfectly centered on the front door. It's perfectly framed. This is going to look really nice, and therefore it's going to give a very good feeling about the rest of the house. Okay, so any doorway we walk through, what's on the other side of the doorway, what we're seeing right there, that's what we want to look good. And same way for a window, when we look out a window. Okay, and this is especially true of landscaping. That's what we're doing is when we create paths through a garden, all right, a decorative garden, not a vegetable garden. Okay, the paths are going to come out somewhere. All right, where they come out at is where we want to frame everything, and we want it to look really nice. Same way looking out a window at our landscape. We want to look out the window. We want the landscaping to be very pleasant to look at. Just like a painting. All right, that's what we're shooting for. Or at least thinking that way has served me very well in the past, and I'm really happy with what I'm seeing here. All right, now let's take a look at a couple of other things we've got going on now. This is the kitchen side of the wall we were just working on, so this is part of what we just added. The new little wall wrapping around the chimney is going to come in here. This is the chimney. Okay, and I was going down this wall of studs trying to straighten these out. We're in rough shape. A lot of them bowed and warped and twisted. All right, well, since this is all load-bearing wall, it needed to be supported just like the part we just worked on and put the header in. So what I did for that over there and this, I just took studs, put a little piece of plywood in the floor as a spacer, and then just nailed these in place to support the ceiling joists and take the pressure off the wall here. All right, then I can change what I need to, do what I need to. And what I was hoping, I had one stud I've already cut out that was really ugly. I was hoping maybe I could just change out that one stud. I'm gonna have to think on this one. I might just take all these out through here and then just redo the whole wall while I'm here. Okay, so anyway, that's where we're at thus far. And with that, another Saturday is done, over with and in the books. And I know that probably wasn't the most exciting thing for a lot of you to see. I mean, it really wasn't anything that complicated there. I mean, for me, it was fun seeing this come together. Okay, and then finally figuring out, okay, this is how I'm going to do this, and then seeing how it looks, and I'm really happy with it. Okay, but here's the thing, all these little boring projects like this. Okay, we got the header done in this little section of wall. Next time we'll finish the backside. Eventually, want to do enough of little boring projects like this, and if I stay on it, consistency. Eventually, I'm going to have a house. Okay, for me, that's way better than if I were just hanging out at the house and Netflix and chill or something like that. I don't know how long it's going to be and how many more Saturdays before I have a house, but we're going to find out. God bless and have a great evening.